So we'll start trying to understand what is exactly meant by a database application, okay? So technically, whenever you are trying to work with your databases, there are multiple different number of projects you can start developing in database, okay? Now, I think it's too early to speak about all the different types of projects what we basically have, but one of the area is application development. So whenever you're dealing with application development, you need to always understand one thing. Majority of the times people have a wrong notion like application development is something which is specifically done by a particular tool or one particular type of software. One application, even though it can be developed by only one single language or tool, we definitely never try to do that, because all the kind of features and facilities with the total effectiveness you cannot expect only one tool to provide you. Therefore, whenever you deal with application-oriented projects, there are multiple different number of tools and technologies that come together and they'll make the things to happen. Therefore, what is exactly a database application? Database application means using any technology or any kind of software, you're trying to develop one particular type of business process-oriented environment where your data will be stored using any database. Because we can store the data using files also. So database application means it is any kind of application in which the business data that is collected from the end user is stored, manipulated and operated by keeping it in one database management system. It can be Oracle, it can be MS SQL Server, it can be MySQL, it can be DB2. We are not bothered about which vendor we are using for database, but finally, our operational activities are totally conducted upon one database management system software. All such kind of applications are called as what? Database applications. Therefore, if I am using Java as my front end, let us say, means I am collecting the data from my end user from which interface? Java interface. But finally, if I am storing this data in one database and I am manipulating the data through database, this is a database application only. Means the Java developer is working for one database application. Try to understand that. In this, if suppose say like the end user interface that is designed by the Java developer is by making use of some browser based interface, where the browser associates with one internet working oriented process, then it becomes a Java based application with a web application and database application as integration. We generally do not try to understand this factor, and when somebody says it's a Java application, we think that it's only Java. Java application means finally from end to end, is it Java or anywhere any other technologies are involved? If any other technologies are involved, that particular application is having interdependency to another technology, means I am depending on web. So Java based web application. Through web I am depending upon database. So through web I am depending upon database. So it's a database application. So in all these constructs, who is your middle layer, who is your front end, that doesn't matter for us. Sitting in this class, we are trying to understand what? As a database developer, what is my responsibility to serve one database application that can be used by any technology, any client in the world. So a database developer, he doesn't need to really get worried about his middle layer technology is what, his front end technology is what, its internet working architecture is what kind of web application standards are used. These all things are not our headache. Knowing what is my architecture is not bad, but I have to be an expert in implementing that architecture is wrong. Why? Because my code is what? Databases. As per databases, I will be strong and I will develop the requirements that are essential for my next level of the people. They will interface to my application and we both will communicate. So programming that other side of the application is not my job, that is their job. Providing services to give the data, take the data and manipulate the data is the job of mine as a database application developer. So if you are a person coming into this industry, you should have end-to-end idea of the project. But end-to-end of every technology you should know is not compulsory. Knowing is not bad. Not knowing will not create any problem. But whichever technology you say that you are very strong and you say it is your mother area, in that area you should be very, very confident. Anything given to you, you should do it. Be very clear about that. Therefore, why I am saying this is majority of the times one question what I will be getting from majority of the students is, sir, can I make my career only with databases like Oracle? Millions are already having that career. Why can't you be one among them? That says, see, in the world nobody is having career with databases, then that question should come from you. When millions are already there in the database oriented career and they are making it very clear in their last 20 years of their existence, why you can't have it? The only simple thing is, in and around you, maybe you don't have people or association of people who are actually in the career of databases. Maybe in your friends you may not have a person who is actually in the career of databases. See, you are having a set of Java friends, let us say, and you are the only one database guy. Definitely you will have insecurity because the majority is that side and you are the minority. So time and again you are seeing those people only. So because of that you may feel that you are not there. No, you are a database developer. You should find an association of database professionals in your life, so that you will take the confidence of how to associate with them. It's all the way of association you have to build. Anyway, it's too early to discuss certain things, but what is the database application? We should just get an idea in the next few minutes. We have to always keep our mindset throughout this course as an application developer. Now, you are a programmer, you are anything, I'm not bothered, but we are programmers or we are developers only for developing applications. So, you write a single line program, but are you writing this program understanding the rule of the application? You write anything, I don't stop you. But keep everything in the mindset of the application and in that bandwidth only start thinking every day. You just take anything I give you as a single line instruction or multi-line instruction, you're always going to be confident in that. But what I say is, can you take this and make it fit into the application where it is essential and it's demanded? So whatever work you do from this class, finally it should find a place, definitely in the construct and composition of the real-time compositional architectures. Be very clear about that. So what is an application now? An application can be a single program, or an application can be a set of programs where the single program or set of programs should have the ability to execute in a series of activities that are absolutely expected by the end user in completing and conducting his business operation. You write your program in any way, that doesn't matter. Your program can come and fit in which part of a business environment, you tell me, that's it. If your program cannot fit into my particular business environment and it cannot help me in completing one business process, I don't need your program. They will always remember one thing, when you write any program, your program definitely has inputs to be given, your program definitely will have some outputs to be represented. The only thing is, these inputs will come from where? These outputs will go where? These are very important things in the process. Are you catching the point? Be very, very clear about that. So, you need to only understand how exactly you can associate and understand the process of making your program go and fit into the overall process of that particular business. Therefore, sitting in the class you write one query, sitting in the class you do an updation, sitting in the class you may delete one record, sitting in the class you create a table, everything is individual. But once you leave this class and you go outside, if you write a query, your query is participating in which area of the entire application in the process, making that application to get completed by its priority of the requirement of the end user. Therefore, your examples in the class are not final conclusions that you are becoming professional. Every example you take from the class Are you understanding its process and its integration throughout the criteria? That is very important. Therefore, when we say we are working for any application, the point what I want to remember is, it can be a single program or it can be a series of set of programs what you have been writing. With these programs should be participating in a series of activities that should be integrated finally to complete one business operation that is expected by the end user. That's where I said, if you can think in application development mindset, you can always become a solution provider. You can always think in the mindset of a solution provider. You're always a product developer. Therefore, sitting in these kind of markets, you don't need to repent that I cannot learn product development. You cannot learn directly product development. You cannot directly learn solution-oriented approaches. But at least application level thinking, if you can catch and you can adapt it, your journey will definitely take you into the product side. But it all depends on day to day how we are closing through the process. Therefore, any time you take a database application, any database application will have a series of activities which can be less, which can be more, but major number of activities are these four. Any database application will definitely have these four activities. One, create. Create means adding of new data structures and adding of new data to your particular database. Because whenever the business is raising the data has to enter into my system. So there we will say we are creating one record. Maybe when you are doing your technically, when you are doing the things in SQL, you may say I am inserting one record. Inserting is one kind of process-based terminology. Create is one kind of design and implementation-based terminology. Once you created one record, then definitely I will be reading this record again and again under different circumstances of the business of the client to analyze the different situations that arise in the business, giving suggestions to the client. Because of this, you can do your business in this way or in a better way. These kind of suggestions we are trying to give now. So be very, very clear about that. So the next immediate thing you are going to do after creating the records is reading the records very simultaneously to understand the business and its insight of operations. Third, within the business, after it is conducted, there is a chance of the data in the business to change. So whenever I need to make a change of the data in my business, I need to go for the sake of what? Update. So updation is nothing but modification of the data as per the changes that are happening in the business with respect to the requirement that arises. So that is update. After certain amount of time, any data in the world will lose it basically lose its scope of the life. Means, suppose like a particular product is sold by me to my client now. On that product, I have 1 year warranty for my particular client now. The life of that product to be part of my particular business system is 1 year. After 1 year, the life of that particular data is finished. I don't need it. So I will delete that particular piece of the data. Means by time, certain amount of data will be deleted from the business because it's no more essential for my business operations. I may need the data for business analysis. That's a secondary issue. We are not talking on analysis immediately. But for my business operations, I don't need it. I will delete it. Anytime you are talking about any business implementation or database application, we have these 4 operations that have to be conducted. Depending on this only, if you are coming from technologies that will help you in developing business applications, you could have found your faculty saying that we need to implement crude operations. So when you say it's crude operations, it's nothing but that. So you develop any business application in the world, which is a database application. A database application's first and final responsibility is to provide CRUD facility. Create the data, read the data, update the data, and delete the data. That is its job. If these four activities, if you can promise to the industry, to the intelligence what they are expecting, to the creativity with which you have to apply, and the logic that is definitely demanded, you are a successful person with database applications. So, what is exactly a database application? There will be multiple players in developing one application. You are a person who is playing at the level of the database as a game, that's all. Your job is at the database level. To the database level, can you give support to the system? That's enough. So watch carefully here. When you say that you are going for any database application, we need to take some scenario of the requirement of a client and we should discuss, else we'll never get the idea. So technologically, just follow along with me now, okay? Anytime I want to develop one database application, requirement comes from where? Client. Can I do anything that is not in the demand of the client? No. Finally, our goal is what? Satisfy the client. If client says, yes, this is what I expected, it's wonderful, my job is completed. So just watch carefully here. One of my clients is requesting me for generating one sales information system. Is saying that sales information process, please see that you are automating it. Sales information is one series of activities or only one activity? Series of activities. So the point from where the sale is starting to the point where the sale is perfectly ending, if I can integrate all these steps very effectively, one sales process is completed. Do you agree with me? Now that I can say it is one process in my major application in my project. In that way, every process is like one application for us. They integrate in a proper way to become one whole enterprise level application. So when my client is speaking with me, he will give me the inputs of what I should develop. Do you agree with me? My client will give me the inputs for what I should develop, but I will imagine and I will do it now. My client will give me the inputs. Do you agree with me now? Now, you are speaking to the client as a developer or not, let us leave it. But somebody in your company or client will tell you, this is what you have to think now. So watch carefully now. Every sale should have a sale ID. Do you agree with me now? Yes. So client is saying that I need an interface from where I can associate my sale ID. And client is telling you, we will be executing multiple different number of sales. So I always want to recognize my sale very perfectly to what I have executed. So I'll be more happy if the sale can be unique by nature. Then the business analyst will say that, don't worry sir, we'll give you one sale identification number for every sale you executed, which is absolutely a unique value, don't worry. Then we will also see that the sale ID is not entered by anybody, because when you're entering the sale ID, there's a chance of duplicating the previous sale ID once again, because you need to remember all the sale IDs. So we'll give you this sale ID interface in such a way that you have to only start the sale process, sale ID automatically generates and no end user can type it. This is how the discussions are happening between you and your client or you and your analyst. Now that gray color shade will show that that particular item is a non-editable item. Means end user cannot type anything into this because it's auto-generated. Now every sale, even if it is having identification number, I think we should definitely recognize the sale to its date and time. Do you agree with me? So the client is telling me now, according that we are saying, we will have one sale date. Now once again, date can be entered, no doubt. But when we say that we are giving for a real-time implementation, entering the date is more correct or auto-generating the date is more correct now? Auto-generating. So the analyst is once again finalizing that. So whatever date is running in your particular server, we will try to auto-generate this directly by contacting the server at that particular point of time. So nobody can change this date at any point of time. Then, every sale is generated upon a customer or without a customer? With a customer. So I need to recognize who is the customer for my particular sale now. So I can be having many number of customers in my organization. So I am saying that for every customer who is there in your organization, we will try to identify them as unique customers, and we will try to give you a facility to click the drop down and make a selection of the customer who is expected to be part of this particular sale. Now the moment you select the customer can have some amount of personal information. Do you agree with me now? Yes. This information should come from where? Some location where we are managing this now. So technically the analyst or the architect is saying that the moment you make a selection of the customer, we will show you the name of the customer that is already pre-registered and the address and the photograph of the customer. And technologically, any sale when it is getting executed, a sale can be either cash based or credit based. Now technically, if it is cash based, there is no problem. You will take the cash, you will give the goods. But if it is a credit based, for all the customers you cannot give the equal amount of credit. Definitely there is a limitation of the credit by customers' privilege and priority. So there may be some customers who have already taken the credit. You cannot give them more than the actual limitation of the credit. For all that, we are giving you 2 boxes which will try to tell you what is the credit limit and the current limit of that particular piece of the customer. And in one sale we can have only one item or many items. Come on now, many items. So we will give you a grid where a number of items that are purchased by the customer can be registered. With every item having item ID, you select the item ID from the list of the items what your company can sell. Automatically name will come, stock will come, price will come, quantity what the customer has purchased, you please enter that. That item may be discountable, non-discountable. So if it is discountable, then immediately click on the discount button to get the discount that is preferable for this customer. Generate the total of that item and give the aggregate of the gross total of that particular piece of the sale. So I think my client has given me what now? Tell me now. My client has given me what now? He has given me an information of one business process. My client gave me one business process in explanation. Now as a developer he says, this is what is my requirement. If you can give me this requirement, I am happy because it will give me a solution for my sales. You are completing this course and you are going learning all the commands, no doubt about it. When this kind of discussion comes, you don't know which command you have learned in this entire course should be kept where, in which priority of its execution. Will you be successful? No. And you're writing in your resume, I know everything in Oracle. My immediate question will be, then what I should do with that? Because your Oracle is not important for me. Your implementation of that Oracle according to my business is very important for me. You may have 1,000 commands with you. I don't care about them. When I give you one business process, to that business process, can you write the logic in such a way that your commands can be integrated in a proper order of their particular priority, and finally this entire process can be completed. The moment I get confidence that you can do that, that day you and I will shake the hands in the industry and you are into the project. So when you say you are a database developer, starting in the initial stages itself, I want you to know what is the kind of mindset you have to develop when you're learning these kind of courses. Your final end point of success is sitting with the total team that is working in the project and giving them confidence that I can give you my services wherever you are expecting that I have to go and contact the database and give you the data whatever you need so that you can do the next part of the job. Now this interface is designed by HTML guys, or it's designed by Visual Basic guys, or it's designed by C# or it's designed by XYZ, I don't care. But these people are expecting that the data that is essential for this business, for a sale process implementation, should come from one database now. Now you are saying you are a database developer. If I keep you into this project, you should not try to keep the people working in this area into trouble. So an application is something that should serve as one solution to the business end users' requirements. So you are sitting in this class for only one purpose, man. Give solutions to the required applications in the project. I will keep you in which project for which type of solution. Now you can guess from the classroom. Therefore, any example I gave you from this classroom, you should learn that example in such a way that catching the concept, tomorrow you are kept into any project, you should know how to apply that and complete it. So watch carefully my next part of the journey. You have to generate the sale ID automatically, yes or no? Now if sale ID has to be generated automatically, the programmer who is working in this application should have definitely some small piece of logic in such a way that what is the previous highest sale ID that is already generated. Plus 1 will be the next sale ID. But where is this particular previous sale ID? So because this is a database application, where we are storing the data? Tell me now. Databases. In the databases, we store the data in the form of tables. So if you are a database developer, I am keeping you in this project. The front-end people, the front-end person will come and talk to you now. Because this is a front-end interface now. He will come to you and he will say that, Mr. Satish, when I press a button called as new sale, I am expecting that I want one sale ID which is auto-generated with respect to the previous sale ID that is available. Now what I am expecting is, I am a front-end developer, so technically I do not know how to work on the databases. So what you have to do is, you please give me one small piece of business routine. You give me one small piece of business routine which you can go and query the data for the previous maximum sale ID and then add 1 to that particular sale ID and give me that new sale ID as a parameter. Your program should do only this job. It should take the previous sale ID, add plus 1, generate a new sale ID and give me that new sale ID as a parameter. Now what is that program you are writing? The name of that program and the parameters you give me. I will connect it to my particular environment. Now the name of the program, it is your choice. Going and searching in the database in which table this data is there, only you should know. Catching the maximum value out of the sale ID is a logic you should have already with you. Once the maximum value comes, how to add 1 to that particular value and make it the next sale ID and give it as a parameter through this name of the program is what you should know. So within the database application, your job is on the only database side or front-end side? Database side. Your job is database side. Once you develop that logic, you will send a message to the front-end developer saying that logical component for generating sale ID is ready. Then he will ask you what is the name of the component. You will tell him. what are the parameters. You will give the parameters. Then immediately says, thank you very much. Now connecting this particular front end to your component what you developed is his headache. He will do that job and he will test it. Whenever he says new sale, your program should work now. Go to the database, contact the table, catch the maximum sale ID +1 and return that, and once it is returned, he should see that in the front end screen. Once he sees that, he will send a message to you. Thank you, logic has been accepted, waiting for integration testing. So you can be having another job, you start doing that job. The small program, what you have to write in this entire project to generate one sale ID, after completing this class, you are unable to do it. That is your failure. Your failure is not 35 marks or less than 35 marks. It will not be like that. Okay? Early in the morning, 9 o'clock, you got the work. You were given 3 hours of time. By 12 o'clock, you completed it. You are passed. You had your lunch and you came back at 1 o'clock. You are given another work and you are being given time up to 5 o'clock. By 5 o'clock, you are unable to do it and it's not completed. You failed. This pass and fail is a continuous activity in your life now. Remember that. Therefore, what I say is, you will learn what commands, what database, what Oracle. Time tells you, I am not bothered about it. But after this entire work is completed in the classroom, when you are pushed into your project, can you design that process by applying that logic and make the data to travel to the front-end developer? For that process to complete from the database, what you should know. That is what I think you gave me as a responsibility in this class. Now I will complete my work definitely the way it has to be completed for databases. Time and again I will tell you, this work is done by you because of this reason, under these circumstances, as per this level of RDBMS for this particular type of project in so and so situation. This correlations and interrelations I will tell you in the class. Example will be thrown to you. Maybe 1, 2 or 3. Remembering that, recollecting it, practicing it, keeping yourself in professional level, getting into your projects, applying your skill sets there, providing solutions, keeping your career secure is your job. So, you write a small program, you write a big program, that doesn't matter. Your program, what you write, should know the perspective of the angle of how it can be taken into real time. Now your sale ID is generated. Once the sale ID is generated, immediately I think the sale date has to come. Yes or no? Now can we expect a sale date to generate before the sale ID? Can we expect a sale date to generate before the sale ID? No. It should not. Because when sale ID is not ready, what is the requirement of the date now? That's why we said application is a single program or a set of programs which are fired in sequence of activity of their priority. So we are now expecting date to be generated. Date should be the current date or any date. Current date. So current date is managed where? On the server within the hardware clock now. Now just imagine your client is coming to you once again. Your senior is coming and saying that sale ID module is ready when some XYZ has completed it. Now I want to give you one responsibility in this application. Your responsibility is whenever a request comes to you, please write a program in such a way that it can get me the latest date and time running on the central database server where the sale process is running. Please return me that. Now when he says that, you cannot ask you, say like your front-end developer or anybody, how to do that. He says that is your headache now. Giving work is my job. I gave you. I know that this can be done in databases. So please do that and send me that name of the module which can return me the date and time whenever I call that. Learning all the commands in the class, you are unable to do that. That day it's a failure for you. So, the request has to go definitely to the database server. But actually, database server will not contain the date by itself. So, the database server internally should go and contact the operating system server. Operating system server never manages any date and time by itself. It has to go and contact the kernel or clock API. The kernel or clock API should go and contact the hardware clock that is existing on your machine. And that date and time should be returned by the sale date now. I will come and tell you, I want the current date and time. I will never care. You go to the hardware and you get the data for me, or you go to some other particular place and you get the data for me. I don't care about that. I gave you the work and I'll say next 1 hour I want this. In next 1 hour you have to give me. How you will give, that's your headache. But once you give, I will not take it directly. I will test it. After testing, I feel this is looking okay. I will accept it into my application. It's not looking okay. I will reject it. Once I reject it, your work starts once again. So database application means you are a person who is writing either small or big programs that can help in completing one business activity, that can make and complete one business activity. You may not be the guy who is designing these screens, but you are the guy who is making the business screens to operate. Try to understand that. The reason we are called as what, man? Can tell me? We are called as which kind of programmers? Back-end developers. We are called as what? Back-end developers. Means the world doesn't know about us. Okay? We are not the front face of any project, but we are the foundation engineers of the whole project. So, the client may not be knowing about us because we don't come into the limelight of the client directly. So, technically we are always working on a platform that gives the information to whom? The middle layer programmers or the front end programmers. Are you catching the point now? But why those people will go and tell that my work was really successful because of that person in my life? No human being will tell, no? So, human being's nature is what? Maine pura kara hai. So that's how somewhere in your life you may have certain frustration definitely that people don't recognize me. When you feel like that, do one thing, okay? Do 1 or 2 days of strike in your company. Automatically all will come to you. Okay? All will come and say, "Arey yaar, aisa mat karo." Okay? Then you do. Yearly 2 days you should do strike. Then after the whole company understands, if this guy is not there, my front end has no criteria of importance. So generally our identification comes when we are getting into implementation. Don't worry about that, I'm telling you, okay? Generally there are people who say like, sir, database developers have no identification. Sorry. You do the things the way they are expected, when it's a red carpet welcome for database developers, and you're always considered very seriously by the company, because we can replace one Java developer if he is leaving the company at the minimum in 1 day and maximum 1 month. Another head can be replaced. If one database developer leaves the company, at the minimum it will take 3 months to replace that head, and sometimes after 1 year also the similar head cannot be found in the market. Remember that, okay? So database developers are non-replaceable resources. Why? Because we are the people who know the framework of the entire project. People have very much wrong notion that database developers have no identity. That happens only in our country because we are in support and service companies. That's why yesterday you watch, I did not keep anywhere the support and service in my list because I don't like it. You should be either an application developer, solution provider, or product implementer. Focus should be there only. When you go into those companies, you'll understand what is the kind of respect a database developer has. In support and service side, why we are not recognized is, there is nothing great work to be done, man, because already the development has been done. In that you are only sitting and making some corrections. Sometimes that correction can be done even by a front-end developer who has, by his interest, has learned database. Therefore, in support side, it's not that you are overthrown, but the dissatisfaction will be there. Therefore, core development should be a focus always, core development. So when you are having the core development, then only the things will be happening. Be very clear about that. So there is some process of the work that should be done. That work process is what you have to learn from this classroom. Be very, very clear about that. Second, can we try to sell any product for a non-registered customer? No. So if I have to select a customer, then definitely I should know where my customer is existing. So we are giving one drop down there now. So once again my middle layer technologist or front end guy will come and tell me, Satish, I will press this button. The moment I press this button, I want all the details of customers who are available. So once again your job started to write a small routine that can go and talk to the database table called as what? Customer data, and give the list of customers there. Once he selects the details of the customer ID, then automatically what should happen now? The name, the credit limit, the current limit, address, photograph, everything should come definitely. After all that is done, one question that comes is the items that have to be purchased now. Can you sell any items that are not part of the inventory? No. So definitely whenever we select an item there, it should come definitely from where? Item database only. So there once again your job has started. So you are requesting the item and you are getting that item into the system. Once the item comes here, the corresponding name of the item, stock of the item, price of the item, everything should get automated. Do you agree with me? Once all this process is completed, then we are asking the client, sir, is it cash transaction or credit transaction? If the client says cash transaction, the whole issue is closed. Take the cash, give the products, generate the bill. If your client says that, no, it's a credit, but credit transaction has a limit. Imagine your particular customer is having 50,000 limit, but he has already utilized 30,000 of that limit. What is the limit that is left over now? 20,000. But he has purchased goods worth of 25,000. Can I give credit for him now? No. So here we need what? A validation. The moment you select the credit, go and cross check the current bill amount and the limit of the credit. If the current bill amount is more than the credit limit, raise a message immediately saying that, sorry, this transaction cannot be completed by credit because the credit limit is less. Then immediately what the bill clerk will say, sir, your credit limit is not being accepted. Can you tell me the alternate? So now he is asking now, so how much is my particular limit? 20. What is the bill? 25. Okay, man, I will do one thing. I will pay the 20,000 of rupees that is already there previously with me on 30. Now once I pay 20, what will happen now? My credit limit automatically increases. Now push this into the credit once again into the process now. So first we have to complete which task? Tell me, payment of credit. Yes or no? So I have to keep this screen in which mode? Suspended mode. Go to the credit payment screen, complete the credit payment task, and once again come to this screen. It should show me the current limit which is more. Then automatically complete the task. All this is one process or it's not process? One process. Behind this, how much amount of work is there for database developer? You just imagine. Don't underestimate a database developer's life. Why I am telling this is, out of every batch, I'll have definitely 10-15 students will come and personally ask, sir, I'm only learning this. will I have my job or not? Why? Because in and around you will have 10 people who will be telling you that, oh God, only database, it is difficult, nobody can get, I did not get, you will not get, these all things. If somebody is a useless fellow, we are not useless, no. Keep confidence from your side, okay? But the way you have to do the databases, I will tell you, you have to do it in that way. If I tell you, from today you have to practice 2 hours your Oracle, you have to practice. If I say from today 4 hours, definitely you should sit and start working with Oracle 4 hours. You should not ask me, sir, 4 hours is difficult. Then don't expect job in 2017. 2018 is also not possible. Wait for your job in 2020. But only when you practice will go there. You cannot take any shortcuts, I'm telling you. So, average 2 hours per day, and by the time I come to PLS skill and I conclude, 8 hours to 10 hours of practice is compulsory, man. So, if I'm practicing this much, why I should come to you? No, that you decide, okay? Come or not to come to me, that you decide. But if you are coming to me, I will tell you, you have to practice like that. So, without practicing like that, if you practice, can I get a job? If I eat, if you don't feel hungry, then tell me, we will settle the issue. Okay? You feel the pain, man, I'll put the ointment. If you feel that your pain is gone, that formula will work here also. Don't speak unnatural. It's easy to fool you by saying that, follow my examples, don't worry, I am practicing, you will get your job. These all things will look wonderful to the student. But do you want to stay in the companies or do you want to get kicks from the companies? First decide this. Because the moment you cannot work, company will throw you outside. Today there is no concept called as we have patience to keep you and feed you for months together on bench. The issue can be looking very harsh, but the fact is a fact. Therefore, you have to invest your time. You are investing your money, that's second issue. You have to invest your time. Out of 24 hours, please keep 8 hours aside. Within remaining 16 hours, you do anything you like, I don't care. 8 hours, definitely you should dedicate till we complete this particular course, excluding classroom time. Don't include classroom time, okay? Excluding this. So, if a small piece can be like this, an enterprise level application has how many business processes like this? So, you are expected to give solutions. That's what yesterday I told you. So, you can do it, but you have to go with a proper methodology. So, you as a database application developer, you have to fit into these kind of things to write your logic. Sir, can I really do these things? When millions are doing it, why you can't do it? If nobody is doing in the world, you can't do it. But already millions are doing it. The only difference is, they already know, you are knowing it for the first time. That's the difference. You know that in a proper way. So your effort of concentration and investment is yours. Therefore, applications are not complicated. So now all these things, whatever we are expecting, they should go into a storage for database. Do you agree with me? All this data storage should be in the database. Now we are sitting in this class and we are saying that we are learning database through Oracle. So in this class, my responsibility will be what now? My responsibility will be to see that I am 100% encouraging you and making you positively get ready for Oracle database. Why? Because that is the kind of contract we have adapted, yes or no? But outside the box we will do some things now. If you are listening to every point what we pick up in Oracle's database very seriously, even if your company gives you an opportunity for a job in databases, but product is not from Oracle, but it is something like IBM's DB2, or it is something like MS SQL Server, or MySQL. Then also you can work if you can follow some extra guidelines whenever I am giving you. So why I am doing that is, for all the students who are freshers, you can be placed into any database by the companies. People are experienced. Since you say you're an Oracle developer, you'll get your next job in Oracle only, don't worry. But for freshers, even though you say that I'm an Oracle developer, companies may keep you into any database. In such cases, you should not get confused. So learn every point we speak in the class with Oracle effectively. You can work for any database management system software with any company very effectively. So concentration is yours, not mine. So according to Oracle database, see its definition, how simple it is. Finally, in any machine, in computer science architecture, we should store the data where? Can you tell me the most fundamental, basic structure where we have to store the data? File. We have definitely store the data in the form of file. So databases are not something outside this principle. So when you say, as a database developer, you say that I am storing my data in database. But your database is storing the data where? So all your databases will store the data without your knowledge in the form of files only. As a database developer, I will never feel that there is a file. So what databases are finally doing, can you tell me? Can you give me one technical term for this now? We are the developers giving the data to the database. Database is giving the data to the file. So finally what databases are doing? Can you give me one simple technical term for this? No? Databases are nothing but abstractions on your data files. Databases are nothing but they are an abstractional layer upon your data files. They are not making you feel that there is data in the file. You are believing that your data is always where? Tables. You are feeling that it is in the form of what? Tables, which is part of your users. In that way we are feeling it. Means databases are creating a simulation of layer for the database developers, making them feel that information is only in the tables but not anywhere else. But the practicality is, we put the data into a structure called as table. Table releases this data into a structure called as a file. So why this is happening? All the files are under the control of computer science students, you should speak with me now. All the files are in the control of operating system. Is there any operating system in the world that can promise you that your data will be stored but not in the form of files? Do we have any OS like that? No. So the final architecture for storage of the data permanently is what? Files. That's okay. Any software has to be installed and configured on the OS or without OS? On the OS. Means every software in the world has to work according to the architecture of the OS or against to the architecture of OS? According to the architecture of OS. So even if you developed your software to store the data in your own style, but finally you have to hand over this data to operating system, and operating system hands over the data to a file, file hands over the data to the disk. So your databases are nothing but abstractions on your operating system and your file and hardware architectures. That is the only reason a normal database developer need not be a technical person. But you know technology as well as you know business implementation process, you are the hot cake in the markets. Remember that. Therefore, sir, I am a non-engineering background, I am a management graduate, I am a commerce student, I am an electrical engineer. Don't tell all these reasons now, okay? When you came into this class, before coming into this class, all those things are correct. I don't deny. You are sitting in this class and you are learning database regularly means slowly you are becoming a technologist in databases. Therefore, you like or you do not like, you have to understand technology by some level. For students who are purely non-technical basis, it will look difficult in the initial stages, but you have to do it. So why? Reasons, even if I give from the classroom, you will never know, man. After you sit in front of interviewer and you are attending your interview, and when you get your offer letters and you get into your projects, you will understand what we have done from this class. So, some things, even if they look difficult, start adapting them. They will not look difficult every day because I will make you feel it easy. Today it may look difficult because first time you are listening. Tomorrow I will continue with that. It becomes somewhat easy. Day after tomorrow I will extend it. It will become more easy. But initially you are not ready to take it. I can't help you. So, as per Oracle, database is not something critical. Oracle's definition is very clear. Watch there. It is very clear saying that database is a collection of business data in one or more number of data files. So finally Oracle is saying that you give me anything, I will keep it in the form of a file only. But I will never let you feel the file is existing. How Oracle can manage this? Even though for beginners, what I am speaking in the next level, in next level class could be something which is heavy. First listen, how much you are understanding, you don't worry. As my course goes, I will be going on elaborating these things in more detail with more diagrams. Finally sending you out of this class such that you can speak definitely at par with one person who is technologist in the industry is my job. When you speak in the industry, you speak in competition to the person who has been in the technology for the last 3-4 years. But you have to give me time for that, so that I can build you day by day to that particular process. So whenever you deal with the Oracle database, your whole Oracle database is a collection of only 2 types of structures. One logical structures, the other is physical structures. On the total logical and physical structures, only Oracle's entire implementation continues. By the time we complete our course, you will get great insight on these things. Initially, somewhere we have to start. So, first I want you to understand logical structures, then I will take you into the physical structures, because physical structures is our total course. So practically you will be knowing physical structures, we'll take very deep dive into them, don't worry. But logical structure is one concept. That concept you can understand when you're following along with me as I'm discussing through the example and presentation. So the students who are non-IT based, in my next class you should have more concentration, okay? Just follow me, how best you understood, you don't worry. At least let the thought process begin. For students who are already computer science based, sit and recollect everything you have learned in 4 years of your college, what we are trying to speak. Because it will start opening the insight of what you have learned already. Maybe you could have kept it aside, but you have to recollect it once again. With this kind of difference only, we will outbeat our competitors. 10 people are attending the interview, and 100% you should be the first person to get selected. That's the final goal. How it is possible? When you start the game slowly, it will end very perfectly. Don't worry about that. Okay? So, if you have already given your mail IDs and everything, we have started scheduling the process of sending you the materials. If not, please see that you are confirming those things from Mr. Srinivas. Your material will come up with all the diagrams and everything in the process. Hope you are recording the sessions definitely which are audio recording. Do that. Even if you neglect it, please collect from your friends who are there. Why I am telling you is, after some days, if I discuss 1 hour of class with you, minimum 3-4 times if you don't listen, you'll never understand and don't recollect what I said. That much of pressure will be there. Don't lose. Any day you are unable to come to the class, find somebody who is attending the class and take the audio definitely from him. You will do that immediately, I am telling you. Because finally it is your career, not my career. I'll only try to build and I'll only try to suggest. You go point by point away, I am telling you, man. Your first interview is the last interview. And you'll keep your job for 3 years minimum without having any insecurity from your side. But time tells us what we'll do. So I'm kicking myself into Oracle now. Once I kick myself into Oracle, slowly I'll keep you into the practicality side. Don't worry about that. So let's see what's waiting for us on Monday once again. Thank you very much.